That is Steve Azar. I don't have to be me till Monday. It's Shaggy, and it's time to start the special live 5 o'clock show. And if you are just joining us for the very first time, remember, not only can you see this thing live on television, Akaku, Channel 55, but you can listen on 88.5 KNUQ. In just a sec, we'll get to today's...
Live from beautiful downtown Kahului, on the #1 island destination on planet Earth, the Valley Isle, Maui. From the Akaku studio at Halfway to Hell Plaza, it's live! And now, a man that's known far, but not wide. It's Shaggy!
And welcome to the show today. So first, I should introduce my guest. She is a woman of many, many, many talents. One of those talents being putting up with me. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for my wife, Kamaile. How's it going, honey?
It's going.
How did I get you talked into this again?
You didn't have a choice, or I didn't have a choice.
No. Once you marry an entertainer, you're pretty much married to the job.
It's my wifely duty.
Well, I thought it would be real great to bring you in on today's show so we can talk about something that I actually know about, something that you've done for me, and that is turn me from a chubby hubby down into the skinny mini that a lot of people, including like Tom Blackburn Rodriguez, Joel Agnew, have all come through here and said, dude, you look amazing. Who did this? And I have to tell them, it's Kamaile, my awesome wife. I go about bragging about you all the time,
you do
honey.
Not.
I do indeed.
Whatever. I
brag all the time about you. You just never hear about it because those people are very antisocial. But I thought it would be fun to pull you in here and actually talk about something that we do at home all the time. And because it's getting close to the summer season, a lot of people are looking at their bodies right now going, I have a little extra here, I have a little extra there. For me, I have a little extra everywhere. But
So you brought me here to ask me to sculpt you into the perfect beach body.
No, not me.
Oh.
Not me, okay? Let's just go ahead and make this perfectly clear. We already know I'm perfect enough for you.
I have very low standards.
But let's just go ahead and just dive right into things. Because this is something that before I actually met you and we got involved with this whole let's change everything kind of lifestyle that we're in now, you look really proud of yourself.
No, I am nervous.
Why?
I don't know.
This show is not that hard to do. Trust me, I do it every day. All right.
I have this hideous grin on my face because I'm just so nervous.
Really? Once this nervous get married to me, but don't come on the show all of a sudden. Ooh.
Oh no, I was nervous. When I married you, I vomited. It's pretty similar now to how I'm feeling.
Okay. Well, all this equipment is paid for through Akaku Community Media, so if you want to vomit on something, please aim cheap. Okay?
Like what?
The host.
Okay.
That's about the best that you're going to do. All right. So jumping right into things, okay? The way that I guess I can describe my body about a year and a half to 2 years ago. Actually, no, it was longer than that. It was 3 years, wasn't it?
When we met?
Well, no. When we actually started let's try this.
When you got us big. When you made us big and heavy. Yeah.
Okay, look. Honestly, I didn't mean to do that. But being a husband...
Oh, you didn't mean to do it.
I like how you just come on this show and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, now you're going to answer for your crimes against humanity.
You brought the frozen pizzas home every night.
Well, that's just it. The frozen pizzas weren't really good for us, were they?
No, not every night, no.
But there's a reason why they weren't good. And when we got to start looking into the foods that we prepared and ate at home, the thing that became apparent to us was the one evil word that nobody really associated with food was carbohydrates.
Right.
So, first off, before I even begin, a lot of people, like I said, looking in towards the summer now might want to slim down 10, 20, 30 pounds. Maybe they're even physically active in gyms and things like that, but they're just not getting the slim down. Now, me and you, before I even start here, me and you actually achieved our weight loss by pure diet. No, absolutely, and I mean this, no exercise. Wasn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Because you lazy.
Thanks, honey. Thanks. Okay. But because I am such a lazy husband.
I mean, busy.
Thank you.
Busy.
So, because I am such a lazy husband, I did have a little problem with the whole getting to exercise thing. And the first thing that you did was like, okay, let's look at all of our foods that we're eating. What is just, because I've never interviewed about this because, I married you. But what is it? What is it that you noticed the most about my diet at first that was just like, whoa?
You snack a lot, or you used to snack a lot, and it was chips, the sodas, the diet sodas, the regular sodas, all the sodas.
So that would be ultimately my downfall, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay. But these things contain a lot of carbohydrates, and if you don't know what carbohydrates, those are things like sugars, what else?
Sugar, starch, fructose.
Oh, yeah, and that's a big one because a lot of people out there are now starting to go, high fructose corn syrup is basically just like throwing the fat on my body, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we should explain, like, things like high fructose corn syrup, and this is the thing that I found out through my reading, a lot of it's converted instantly to storage, right?
Mm-hmm. And when you ingest it, it actually makes you hungrier. So you eat more. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's kind of like a never-ending cycle. Like, you get a little bit of carbohydrates in you, that high fructose corn syrup, and then all of a sudden you're just like...
Right. It's like pizza. I wish I could be one of those people that just eats the one slice of pizza. No, even if I have two, it's like, I gotta eat another one.
I eat the whole thing if I get a chance. I'm not even gonna lie. It's just,
I know.
Okay. I'm so glad that you are such a loving and understanding wife that you're just like, yeah, I know you were fat, so there you go. You acted like one.
I never said that word.
No. You didn't say it wasn't either. All right. But when we started to look down at the things that we ate and how we ate them, and then we realized that, one, your husband has a major, major, major problem with snacking, and two, those snacks contained high levels of carbohydrates. In your head, what is it that made you put together the whole let's go plan of attack style here and attack my husband's midsection? What is it that actually made you go, okay, look, I found the problem?
Well, I didn't find a problem with you, dear. I found a problem with myself. And I figured if I have to watch what I eat, you're going to watch too. So... You're welcome.
You're welcome. But when we were setting up for the first time, and we decided that we were going to do this, the first thing that you went and did is you discovered that when you eat a lot of carbohydrates, right? Mm-hmm. You take in more than your body can use, because if I understand all of this stuff correctly, carbohydrates are actually meant for instant conversion to energy.
Right. But we weren't getting any exercise. So we were taking in all of these carbs and doing nothing. So it just stayed and sat. And
now, would you consider that, like, that's not out of the norm for a lot of people, not just us, right?
I don't know. I guess. I mean,
just guess?
Yeah, I don't know what everybody else eats. I don't know what their level of activity is. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we're not here to judge people, honey. It's not like somebody's going to watch this show and be like, "Oh, Shaggy's wife is such a B word." Judging people, calling them fat and everything. I mean, what a horrible person. That's not going to happen on this show,
But
I
I
promise
have to
you.
judge enough so that Sean doesn't come down here and berate me for not judging enough. Right?
Oh, yeah. You got to keep the guys in master control happy. Huh?
I try.
Okay. Well, when you started to plan out the carbohydrates, let's just go ahead and say that my first opening weight was 197 pounds. Correct.
Yes.
I like how you're just... There's a radio audience too, honey. You got to do more than nod.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay. She's like, get off my case. All right. But when we decided that we were going to try to lose weight, and you came up with this number in your head about what kind of carbohydrates a guy's body needs per day, you decided on the number 50. Why the number 50 carbohydrate in a day for a guy?
Not any guy, just you. Because you get...
I'm special?
No, because you get little to no exercise at all. Just being honest, I'm not trying to be hurtful. But...
This is my blank look. Thank you, honey. You're lazy. Just go ahead and say it. You are lazy.
All right. And 50 is a good number for you to start with because you can lose the weight at a good enough rate that's not unhealthy. You're not dropping it off so quickly. Mm-hmm. You lose it in the right areas, which is your belly. So.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of times I'm looking at the show going, ooh, I had too many carbs. And you can tell the days. That's what's so, like, shocking to me. But when we talk about, like, cutting down to 50 carbohydrates a day, we have to have people understand that before that, it was, like, 200-300, really.
I couldn't even tell you what it was. It was just, we never looked at labels.
Yeah.
We just ate.
But now that we look at labels and we're getting to below 50, it took us, 6 months?
To lose everything?
Yeah.
You lost it a lot quicker than I did, definitely.
Not so bad now, your husband, huh?
Not so bad, yeah.
Sometimes I just don't know. But...
About yourself?
No, not about myself. I definitely don't know about myself. I don't know why you married me, but, hey, there we go. We're here. But when we got down to 50 carbohydrates a day, and that first week came in, and we weighed ourselves, I came down 3 pounds. Mm-hmm. Why did that happen?
Because you weren't taking in all this bad fat that you weren't using.
Yeah, but see, that's just it. Most people, when they associate trying to lose weight and everything, is low fat. But fat doesn't transfer from fat in food to fat in body, right?
Well, I mean, you should definitely pay attention to the amount of fat that you're taking in, cholesterol, sodium, all of that. But for us, I think why low carb worked really well is because you and I have a family history of diabetes. So...
Yeah, which is kind of a big deal, Mm-hmm. Let's see. I think I've got a caller on the air. Let's see who's on the line. Oh, come on. It's not that bad. No. They hung up. We're good, honey. It's probably one of your friends calling in. No. It's probably one of your friends calling in being like, hey, tell your husband to leave you alone. Okay. So we started seeing the weight loss happen, all right? And then we got to the point where now we're starting to figure out what kind of foods were safe and unsafe. Real quick, off the top of your head, what would you say was our most unsafe foods besides the frozen pizza? Because
rice. Rice.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what is it that makes rice so bad, though? I mean, everybody's like, oh, I got to have rice with a plate lunch. Got to have rice with this. What makes rice so bad?
Rice is the ultimate carbohydrate. Especially here, you eat it with everything, like you said. And how many times have you just had the one spam musubi or the one scoop of rice? Right?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, if you're doing it right, you're having at least 2 or 3 of those things.
And I love rice. I really do. It was difficult to not eat it. It still is difficult to not eat it, but it's Well, bad.
What is it that makes it so bad? It's almost like when you eat that, it comes into a pure sugar in the blood.
Yes.
Wow. And when we put in a whole lot of sugars, starches, and carbohydrates, the body basically goes into, I guess, what we would call a storage mode?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? I mean, it's... Because I understand that exercise takes away calories, but then where do carbohydrates come in?
When I don't, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Look, I'm confuse everybody on this show, honey. Don't get embarrassed. I confuse the people that made this show, so don't get embarrassed. But what I'm talking about is when it comes to the normal way that America views diets, the low fats, the calorie countings, and things like that. I had done the calorie counting thing. Calorie counting didn't work for me. And I'm one of those guys that was like, okay, well, if I get to 2,300 calories a day, then it'll be fine. No results. Well, if I get to 2,000 calories a day, it's fine. No results. If I get to 1,800 calories a day, which is basically what, like bare minimum for a human?
No, you could go as low as 500 if you wanted to.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I never knew that. Okay. But when I got to that point, when I got to the point where it was like, okay, you know, I have nothing left to do, and we started counting carbohydrates, removing the bad foods around, losing 3 to 5 pounds every week. What exactly, if you even know this, because I don't know, I'm the dumb one in this relationship, by the way.
Clearly.
Thanks. Thanks. But me being the dumb one in this relationship, when we talk about how we ingest food, you can burn calories, but you can't really burn carbohydrates, right?
No, you can. They give you energy. So a lot of people that do running and stuff like that, they eat carbohydrates because it gives them that energy that they need to keep going.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. But when you go to the gym and stuff, you see guys like eating a bunch of starches and stuff like that, and they call it carb loading. But when you eat all these carbs ahead of workout, does it even do anything for you?
I actually don't know.
Because that's like one of the big like myths out there in the whole weightlifting, bodybuilding world is carb load, didn't work out.
Well, I'm not knocking any other kind of diet. I just know what worked for us. So, and I know why it worked for us. I don't know about anybody else's diet.
No.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Can we talk about foods that we actually had to cut out? What would you say, besides like breads and rice, what was our number one offenders with high carbohydrates?
Pasta, chocolate, ice cream, milk.
All the fun foods.
All the fun foods. Cookies, cakes, cupcakes. Cheesecake.
Wow. That's a lot of foods.
Yeah, we ate a lot.
But when we started cutting these down and getting them down, the results, would you say, were pretty instantaneous? Mm-hmm. Now, besides the weight loss, though, what are some of the other things that you noticed when we started cutting these foods out? Higher energy levels? Better sleeping? I mean... Did I look more attractive
did you feel
to
those
you?
Things?
Well, I feel
I'm extremely vain, so I just wanted to look good. So, I mean, yeah, if it was all about, sleeping better for you, all right. It was just like, no, I just don't want,
Well, hey, if anything, this show is known for brutal honesty. So if you want to say, hey, I just wanted to be pretty, honey, say you wanted to be pretty.
I just wanted to be pretty, man.
But it's not like it was rocket science at first, right?
No, it was pretty difficult.
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot of research.
Well, how much research do you say that you actually ended up doing on all of this?
Oh, man. I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Well, real quick, let me see if this phone thing works here. Hey, it's KNUQ. Hey, you're live on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm sorry. I have to call you right back.
Oh.
Right.
Thanks.
Wait, fun. Just a second.
Okay. All right. Well, call back then. I love this. You have guys calling the show. Your friends, obviously. Not my friends.
Fans. They call them fans.
Oh. So they're fans
You
now.
wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
You are so in trouble when we get home today.
Right.
But one of your many fans is calling in, and he'll probably back up the results that we had on this whole experiment. So, losing all of the weight, clearly for vain purposes, right?
Yeah.
But not rocket science.
Not rocket science, no.
Okay. Some of the first things, though, that we figured out was the bad stuff to eliminate. Would you say bread?
Bread, rice, pasta.
Bread, rice, pasta. These foods are typically the ones that contain in the neighborhood of 38 to about 48, almost 50 grams of carbohydrates, right?
Well, like a quarter cup of rice is 39 grams, which is insane because who eats a quarter cup of rice, right? You have like half a cup, two cups.
No. If you're doing it
whatever.
right, it's 2 scoops, and that's about 1.5 cup of rice. I mean, if you're really doing it right, it's about 3 cups of rice.
Right, and it's like every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Yeah.
But when you do this to your body after a while, and you're not doing a lot of physical stuff, it just says this is supposed to be converted to storage instantly.
Because you're not using the energy. You're not getting rid of it. You're not doing anything.
Okay. But now, people that are physical, construction workers and things like that, they're just like, oh, they're probably listening going, I pound rice all the time. I pound rice all the time. But then again, their body needs that fuel before they start engaging.
And, well, they drink sodas, like because they get so hot and so dehydrated, which you should have water, but they drink soda, Yeah.
So this is how people fall into the trap, right? So let's say that you're a younger person, you've always been physically active and everything, then you start hitting your 20s and things like that, and you kind of might slow down. Maybe you get an office job like me. And I'm blaming the job, by the way.
Oh, I thought you were I thought that was a jab at me, like, because I have an office job, host.
No. The whole reason that you gained weight, it was my fault. Okay, just want to put that out there. Your husband.
Yeah,
did
let's
this
agree to agree. Definitely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So these guys or these women, when they start to hit the mid-20s and stuff, and the metabolism of the body naturally starts to slow down, that's when you start to notice the creeping of the midsection, right? And what would you say, and be honest here, what would you say is the age that people really start to look at themselves and go, oh, dear God, I've fallen into the trap. How is this happening? I keep gaining weight, and I don't know why.
Well, for me, it was 23, so 24, so.
The year you met me.
Right, basically.
Okay. I just want to throw that out there. But these people, when they start to notice that, no matter how much I work out and no matter how many calories I cut, I still have this gut, I still have these problems and everything, what would you say to them to convince them to, 1, check their label, and 2, check the label for actually how many carbohydrates they're taking in?
What would I would say to them?
Yeah.
Consult a physician. I cannot give out any medical advice.
No. But you can say consult a physician. Now, sometimes, because guys will be like, well, I have high blood pressure and I have high this and I gotta really worry about my numbers and my triglycerides and stuff like that. But point of fact, can we just throw this little thing out there that we've heard from an individual that we know? Once you start to bring weight off of your body, all of your numbers improve.
Yes. Doesn't matter how you get honestly, it doesn't matter what diet you do, how much exercise you do. As long as you get the weight off, you're fine.
Yeah. And I mean, this is for people with like high blood pressure, hypertension. Also like joint problems, right?
Right, which is what you had a lot of. You had a lot of extra weight and your body was having to
compensate for it.
Having to support itself, and poor little man.
I like how you just shake your head like, so stupid. You were.
No, I'm. You're like that tall and a little bit bigger. It's a lot of weight on your little 5'5" frame.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about what my weight was supposed to be. And at 197, I thought that, as far as being a guy at about 5'5" height, that I was pretty much in the big side.
Oh,
But-
no,
but-
that's not what you said. I look fine. I'm fine like this.
Okay, so maybe I am a little lazy, all right? I wanted to look fine so you wouldn't make me eat.
Don't lie to these people.
My wife, truth teller. As a matter of fact, I should change your lower third on the screen instead of awesome wife. Kamaile Jenkins, truth teller. But telling the truth here, 5'5", there's something called the BMI. What is a BMI for? Well, just for a general term, what does BMI mean?
Body mass index.
And how is that calculated?
Your height and your weight, and it tells you at what, and your age. So, what height you are, it gives you then the weight that you should be in order to be considered healthy.
Mm-hmm. Now, the weight that I was supposed to be considered healthy at 5'5", and I think at the time 36 years of age. I don't know how old I was. I'm forgetful. I'm getting old. All right. But being at that age, my BMI, even though I was 197 pounds, my BMI was actually what? What was it supposed to be?
What your weight was supposed to be, you mean? To be
Yeah.
healthy? Like 160, 155?
Yeah. That's like 35, 40 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
People typically carry around this weight just not without even knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I was carrying it around, I didn't like I said, I look fine. I don't know what my wife is talking about. She must be dumb. But
You act like we've been married for years.
no. But all I'm saying is that once we got past that illusion and we found out that my BMI was supposed to be way, way lower, and then I actually achieved that BMI,
Mm-hmm.
what is it about the body mass index that is actually, scientific here, good for the body? How do you calculate something like that? Yeah, I mean, how did they ever, do you even know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, it's okay. I'm stupid on this show, like, constantly. But I tell you what, let's see if this call is on the air. Hello, thanks for calling the show. Oh, no, I must keep messing this thing
You don't
up.
want to answer. You're doing this on purpose.
I am not doing this on purpose. All I want to do as a husband is make you look good, honey. All right. But in just a sec, we're going to have to take a break. I actually want to talk about some of the foods that you have learned how to make over the time. And the reason why...
Food.
Okay. I should probably, as a disclaimer, mention here that here lately you have been like a guinea pig for a diet that, some people have put you on to see how you like it. And it's kind of outside of the norm, and it's made you a little moody.
Thanks.
Hey, you want to call me fat? I'm going to say you were moody on this last
I did
diet.
not call you fat.
Okay, well. But in just a sec, we'll get to that, because I do want to talk about the findings of like all these like special diets and stuff that people are always trying to put other people on, and how they might not be as healthy as you think. And if you are a person listening to the show today and do want to join in, it's very, very simple. All you got to do is pick up your phone and dial in 877-6363. You can do that, or email us live at akaku.org. And that way you can get in questions and stuff like that, especially if you have a question dealing with today's topic, which is food and how some food may not be all that great for you. Now, besides pizzas, breads, rice, and things like that, we can all agree that eating pure sugar, not good. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, remember, radio audience.
I know. I forgot. Keep forgetting.
They cannot hear you nod. Okay? So if you do this, make like a sound effect. Go. 877-6363. In just a sec, we're going to come back with my wife, Kamaile, and we're going to talk about foods that we've learned to remake. Because even if you're a person that thinks that right now you are stuck in that trap of, I can't have this, I can't have that, I can't have that, there are options, right?
Yes.
And we found some of those options, things that you would probably just blow your lid over, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it goes the whole gamut. So when we come back, we're going to talk about all of that and take some of your calls at 877-6363. We are live on Akaku Channel 55 and KNUQ 88.5 FM. We'll be back in just a second.
Get your ass in this suit. You're not sitting here.
Yes, I am.
Move. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how.
Oh, you got...
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Akaku Community Media Center empowers our community through access to education and tools to create video productions. The Michael Clark Studio is a full-feature production studio. The studio is available free of charge to community producers who are Akaku Studio certified through the Intro to Studio class. To get trained and learn more, contact Akaku by calling 871-5554 or visit akaku.org.
On 88.5 FM and I should say channel 55 Akaku. Joining me in the studio today is, of course, my lovely wife, Kamaile. And if I did this right this time, I should have a caller here. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
It's me.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
Oh, okay. This is one of
It's
your
my
fans.
fan.
Yeah.
By the way, you're live, so watch the language.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that, actually. And I find it hilarious that you guys are talking about carbs because I just got off the phone with Pizza Hut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, unfortunately. But it wasn't for me. It's for the rest of the family.
See, that's the problem.
So what are you eating?
The chicken wings. And watch it because I can see your reactions on TV right now.
Okay. Should I be the one that scolds him, or should you?
Do it.
Oh. Okay.
Tubby. No, I'm just kidding.
But now this is a good question. Okay, so he's basically saying I'm only having the chicken wings, but if you get chicken wings with like none of that sweet barbecue sauce and stuff, that's actually a pretty low carb food that you can have.
Sure, as long as it's not like battered and then deep
Exactly.
fried. Yeah. Well, you work out as well.
That's very true.
And
very
how
true.
often would you say you work out?
Well, I'd like to say like 4 to 5 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right about the dipping sauces with the chicken, like the ranch. Oh, that'll ruin it all.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Ranch is kind of a fatty one, but it's not really a carby one unless you get that Hill Valley one where they put 2 cups of sugar in it.
You can't have like 8 cups of it.
Okay, well.
You have. Everything is in moderation, dear.
Hey, I am
Dear.
Southern. You know, ranch dressing, 8 cups in a day is bare minimum serving. I'm just throwing that out there for everybody at home. But since you called into the show and you are eating badly...
Well, not yet.
Okay. I'm going to say that anybody that calls in the show today and is eating badly has to bring a sample.
Oh, no, I can't have food.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting about
Yeah, so I actually think that he just called in to torture you.
Well, actually, I was calling earlier because I heard you guys spatting at each other, so I wanted to interrupt that.
Oh, you called to keep the peace because that's your job?
I called to keep the
That's
peace.
your job? Do we pay you for this?
No, not enough. I mean, because apparently he's not been doing it for the last, 30 minutes of this show. Where were you when I feel like Jay-Z in an elevator right now.
Oh, snap.
Oh, easy, Solange.
Too early. Too early. Too soon.
No, but I wanted to call because I wanted to say, Kamaile, you look fabulous, and you're doing a great job.
Thank
so
you.
do you, Shaggy.
No. and your husband is there. Okay. Well, thanks for the call, man.
All right, I'll talk to you guys after.
Bye.
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 Yeah, that's one of our good friends who, by the way, we should just go ahead and throw him under the bus now that he is off the phone lines. Let me go ahead and shut this off here so he can't hear us. He is one of those guys that was, shall we say, a doubter of the program.
Yes. Well, Alkai has gone through his own, I just named him. Alkai has gone through his own battles with weight, and he's overcome so many obstacles on his own, and he is very fad, so everything's like the fad diet, and I'm going to work out because it's the thing to do. But he, got over that and just took a lot.
But a lot of people are all caught up in that fad.
Right.
But usually you can use this equation. Ready? Fad equals bad.
Well, at one point, low carb was a fad diet.
Really?
So,
okay, well, low carb was a fad diet, but it's one of these ones that has survived the test of time. Calorie counting survived the test of time. Grapefruit juice drinking, dipping lemons on your head at sunrise in the 1970s. I don't know what they did, but
the
that's
ice cream diet, which I would really like to try.
Me and you both. Can we try the ice cream diet tonight, honey, please?
Not tonight. No.
But yeah, they have this thing called the ice cream and pizza diet, where supposedly if you do this and this and this, it would end up good, but it never ended up good. And a lot of fads always come and go. And what do you think it is with at least America's perception of things? What do you think it is with these fad diets? Are we always constantly looking for the easy way to do things?
Yes.
No hesitation whatsoever.
People want the magic pill. They want things to come up like that, and nobody wants to do the work for it. So
laziness is a big cause.
That's not what I'm calling it. I'm not calling it laziness.
Why won't you take a hard stand on this show? You can call me fat and lazy, but you can't say the behavior itself is fat and lazy?
Because you're my husband.
Oh.
This is what we got married for.
Oh, okay. Jeez. But for the most part, when it comes to people gaining weight and not knowing what's going, we have a sedentary lifestyle, and we have all these fad diets out there that guys just real quickly think is the magic pill. Is there any real magic pill out there?
I have not seen one.
Really?
Really?
And I should you work in a medical profession for years and years and years. Surely science has come out with a you take this, you're not fat anymore pill.
Oh, they've come out with it. So you take it, you do drop a whole bunch of weight. What happens when you don't do it anymore? You gain it all back plus more. So.
Yeah, it's called the bounce back effect, isn't it?
Like Oprah. Oprah is like, she's done so many different diets, and she's lost a ton of weight and then gained it all back. And then she's lost a ton of weight and gained it all back.
Yeah. And before I met you and we went through this carbohydrate thing, that was my story too. Gain a bunch, lose a bunch by working out, calorie counting, all this stuff, then gain it all back plus 10 extra pounds. And is that typically the pattern for most adults?
For most adults that live that kind of lifestyle where they work really hard for a certain amount of time, drop a bunch of weight, and then don't follow through with it.
Yeah. But okay, we can be honest. Some adults actually just don't give a damn about their body.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is fine. I mean, that's fine. That's how they choose to live. That's fine. I'm not knocking anybody that doesn't,
Well, I'm not either, but I'm saying, when you're in your 50s and 60s and you start having a lot of medical problems, you probably should have been like, me in my 30s and go, maybe I should do something before this becomes the problem.
A lot of people don't take their health seriously enough.
But they should.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so now on to the part that I was just waiting for before the break.
The food.
Okay. First off, congratulations for being on a liquid diet for like 7 days now. How do you feel?
Hungry.
Okay.
I'm being honest. I'm hungry.
Okay. I don't eat me, but you're.
Oh, I'm past that phase. I've gotten over that. That was like around the 3rd day, 4th day, you know.
Yeah, cannibalism came into the picture. Oh God. But now that you've went through this diet, and it did seem to be working on some level, the thing that we found, though, is just like with the plan that you had worked out for us when we were trying to lose weight and stuff, there is a set carbohydrate count in the day. Do you think that, just off of opinion, not medical opinion, do you think that's the reason that the diet was successful?
This diet?
Yes.
Probably. It's this diet is, you're talking about the liquid diet?
Yeah.
It's cutting everything. It's cutting calories, it's cutting carbs, it's cutting fat, it's cutting everything.
It's going to get your husband cut if he keeps mentioning food. So, you know, there's that. But
I love food, and I miss it dearly.
and you can't just, like, go back to food. This is like going to space. You need to be quarantined from regular food. Oh, God. I am so sorry, honey.
No, you're not sorry. You're the one that comes to bed with food.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. All right. But now that we're talking about real food, here's some of the things that people will say to you, okay? Are you ready for this? All right. People are always going to say, well, you know what? I do need to lose the weight, but I just don't want to give up my spaghetti night. They can have that.
They can have spaghetti. Yeah.
Because we've discovered that there's certain products out there that are actually catering to this whole low-carb thing.
Right. Well, Maui is very limited for that kind of shopping, but there's healthier alternatives than just that kind of noodle. You can do, I mean, you can use like zucchini. Spaghetti squash is wonderful.
Yeah.
And you're getting your vegetables.
And there's very little carbohydrates in like spaghetti squash and things like that, right?
Right. And it fills you up so you don't actually eat the whole thing. You and I can split half of one, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, you know, 2 adults, that's kind of a big accomplishment, at least as far as grocery bills, because, now all of a sudden we're saving money by those things.
Right. I mean, and you eat a lot. I'm just saying. You eat a lot.
Thanks, honey.
Hey, you're welcome.
I like how you just come out of the show. It's like, okay, you're going to throw me under the bus? You're fat.
Man.
Okay. But getting back to the food thing, because this is important, people will also say when it comes to eating some of the things like pizza, that pizza, being a high carbohydrate food, could never be made safer at all. What would you say to these people?
Yes, it can.
Yeah. And that's the thing. When you're talking about cooking and stuff, it's not just the food that you go out and eat from restaurants. It's not just the prepackaged stuff, but it's the ingredients that you use in the preparation of that food.
Yes.
Yeah. So stuff like white flour. Oh, white flour. White flour would be really kind of one of those high carbohydrate ingredients, but there's a substitution for using white flour.
There's a lot of, I mean, we use almond flour, hazelnut flour, flaxseed. We've experimented a lot. So, I mean, if this is something you want to try, just go out, get a bunch of ingredients, and just try it. See what tastes like.
So instead of like white flour, you would get almond meal flour?
Almond meal, coconut flour is amazing.
Now, and people have to understand, it's a little different than doing normal cooking.
I mean, well, these are products that I would have never eaten. I would have been like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
You know? But it's pretty tasty.
I commend you on your use of the English language in this studio, because I know you at home, and it's never that polite. What the heck?
My potty mouth?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty bad. All right. But things that do go...
I don't want to get you, in trouble.
Oh, God. Nobody watches this show in this building. Are you kidding me? They're all sitting around the water cooler going, well, what are we doing after?
Eating carbs.
But Things like pizza crust, breads, and stuff like that. Usually, typically, what would you say, 32 to 40, 50 grams of carbs?
And regular pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, no, much more. Like 60, 80. I mean, then you put the sauce on it. You got all your toppings, all that kind.
And the sauce sometimes, and you can tell this, like if you're shopping at the grocery store and you go to the spaghetti aisle, the marinara sauce, marinara, whatever.
Marinara.
Okay. Like you're Italian all of a sudden. But when you look at these, there's a very easy visual key to tell you if a lot of sugar has been added to the sauce. And you taught it to me. What is it? The color?
Well, it says on the label, sugars.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Besides reading labels, if you just look at the color of the sauce, the pinker it is,
right,
the
it's
more...
like that bright red. I mean, in Pizza Hut, or can we mention companies?
Yeah, you can mention. I don't care who sues me on this show. After today, with my wife coming in and calling me fat, I don't care.
Oh, God. It's the violin. It's playing.
Okay, all right. But no, you can mention companies.
Okay, so Pizza Hut, they actually put a lot of sugar in their sauce. And that's why when you get a pizza from there, you eat one, you want to eat another one. It's
So you would say that
marketing.
food is designed to keep you hungry when you go to these places.
Like restaurants, they give you bread in the beginning. And, you always tell yourself, well, don't eat a lot of bread because you don't want it to fill you up. Oh, don't worry about it. Eat all the bread you want because your food's going to eat it anyway.
But then after you eat the bread and stuff, you get that kind of
bloated feeling.
Yeah. That bloated feeling is actually a sign that your body has taken in too much, hasn't it?
Way too much food. Yeah.
So what we commonly refer to as like, oh, brah, Kanak attack. That's actually a bad symptom.
And what do you call it? The itis?
We call it the itis. Yeah, it's the itis. You catch the itis, all of a sudden the top button comes up. You kind of... I know this looks really attractive on camera right now. Honey, does this make you want to go home and just like tear me up? But seriously, that's what the itis is. And it's things like that when you eat a lot of these foods and you take them in like all at once, your body kind of want to go into a coma because of the overload, right? And that's where you get tired from.
Yes.
So you can pretty much say that if you feel tired after eating a big meal, chances are you've ingested too much.
Right. Well, there's that whole thing with turkey. Like they tell you that turkey makes you sleepy.
Oh, yeah, the tryptophan thing.
Right. And then we read that article and it was like, actually, the reason why you get tired after eating Thanksgiving dinner, lunch, whatever, is because you actually eat so much. You eat a lot. Yeah. They basically say there, in no uncertain terms, it's the stuffing, it's the potatoes, it's the bread, it's not the turkey. Right.
Yeah.
And it's the amounts of it that you eat.
Yeah. And people, what did they say? 48,000 calories or something in the average Thanksgiving meal?
I don't know. It was a lot. It was some unbelievable number.
But besides just the calories, though, I mean, there's 200 to 300 carbohydrates hiding in there.
Easily.
And what we're talking about, point blank, is, if you have to eliminate one thing, just eliminate carbohydrates. And, okay, since we're on the subject, I have to bring this up. And can I have your water bottle? Just pass me a water bottle real quick.
It's got a label on it.
Yes, and that's what I want to show. You see these little labels here, and if you're looking at the camera, you can see it. But if you're following along in the car or something, the nutrition facts label that every product contains. You taught me something that was pretty important with that. It's how to do the math to find out what you're taking in. Can you just briefly explain how to properly read a label when it comes to buying food, especially if you're trying to look for carbohydrates?
Okay, so that's all I look at really when I go and shop. I don't look at calories. I don't look at anything. I'm really bad. I just look at the carb count. So you take the total carb count, and then this one doesn't have it on it because it's water. Yeah. But there will be something that says fiber. So if your total carb count is like 5 grams, and your fiber is 3 grams, then what you're actually getting, your net carb, is 2 grams.
So there's a math equation. What you do is you take the total carbohydrates on the nutrition fact label, then you subtract from it the dietary fiber value. Okay. So that would mean like a food, let's say 20 total carbohydrates. Dietary fiber is 7. That means that that only contains 13.
Right. Well, you should also look at the serving size. That's where they get you.
That's where they get you. And did you know that now there's legislation out there where they're going to force companies, or at least try to force companies, that the nutrition facts label has to contain the total amount of the package versus a serving size?
Half of the package, yes.
Yeah, because that's how companies do it. Like Coca-Cola, they're notorious for this. They'll take a 20-ounce bottle and they'll say, this bottle contains only 40 grams of carbs, but then you add it up and it's like there's 2.5 grams of, there's 2.5 servings, so that 40 becomes 100.
Right. That's a lot in a bottle of soda.
Yeah. And 100 is 50 more carbs than I was taking in a day just to lose the weight.
Right, and you drink a lot of soda.
I drink a lot of soda. I do a lot of drinking. Okay. Around here, it's coffee, you know.
Tell people about your problems, man.
That's what I married you for, honey. That's what I married you for, okay? But getting back to this, labels on food can actually be a really quick way to figure out how much you're taking in. And if somebody wanted to and really go about the process of limiting their carbohydrates per day, nutrition labels should be where they would start, right?
Yes.
And how long did it take you, because you're the one that I trusted to do all the shopping, because once again, lazy. I like how you're just like laughing and you're like, I'm not going to disagree with you, you lazy man.
Just embrace it. It's who you are.
Okay. But you're the one that did all of the label shopping. Was it really hard to learn this formula?
No. Once you learn the formula, you're fine. It's very time consuming to go grocery shopping.
It really is, because it used to take us, like an hour and a half just to go get a week?
It still takes me a lot of time because I compare everything. And then, it's not like we're rich, so I have to look for what's on sale. And
yeah, well, one day this show will take off, and I swear to God, I'm going to buy that mansion commercial kitchen you've always dreamed of.
Hey, if this show takes off, you're welcome.
All right, there you have it. We got just about 8 minutes left in the show. So before we get ready to get out of here, I want to talk about simple guidelines. Okay. Because what happened to us in 6 months is I lost almost 40 pounds of weight. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. I did it without any exercise. All right. If somebody is sitting here listening today and hear us talk randomly about carbohydrates, what things contain carbohydrates, how your body reacts to them, what basic guidelines, if somebody was really wanting to try what we did, would you give somebody?
Consult a physician.
Consult a physician. Okay. Well,
you can't ask me questions like that.
Why not? No, I'm saying basic guidelines. Like for me, 50 grams of carbohydrates in a day.
Read your labels. I can't say what your carb count should be. That should come from a physician.
Yeah. BMI should be measured by a physician.
No, you can do that online.
Really? How do you do that?
Google BMI calculator.
Oh, okay. And then and that usually takes your age, your height.
Your height and your weight. And
they add them together and it comes up with...
And they show you the chart.
Okay. And then the chart tells you whether...
Underweight, normal, obese, morbidly obese.
What's the difference between obese and morbidly obese?
A lot of weight, a lot of pounds.
Okay. Like, how many are we talking here?
I don't know, dear.
Oh, okay. Well, I just thought I would get, a question.
You're asking me all these medical questions.
You're wearing medical outfits.
I have to work today.
But come on, if I can't abuse you when you come on the show, well, actually, I know what's going to happen after.
I did not sign up for that.
Okay. But general guidelines for people that are concerned about their carbohydrates, their weights, and things like this. First, we can say consult a physician.
Please.
Then learn to read your labels. The things that you should check for on your nutrition labels are total carbohydrates.
Right. Your net carb count and Serving size.
Serving size. Okay. And if there's like multiple servings, like let's say a container Monster Energy drink, this is another one. Their product contains, I think, 3 serving sizes, but one serving contains 40 grams of carbs. Add up the 3 servings, and then that becomes what, 120?
Yeah.
120. Yeah.
Well, pasta noodles are the spaghetti noodles. It's like 6 servings in one box. People don't even
6.
look. I mean, well, maybe some people look and, equally distribute it, but some just make half the box, the whole box. Yeah.
I eat half the box by
I
myself.
know.
That's probably what did it to me in the first place.
Yeah.
But portion control or carb control, which do you think people really need to learn the most?
It's a combination of both. You have to have both. Just because it's low carb doesn't mean you can eat a lot of it in one sitting. Too much of anything is not good.
Because you still have the calories side of it.
Right.
All right. But when it comes to carbohydrates, if you're one of those people that takes in nothing but bread, rice, sodas, things like that, you're pretty much on the fast path to a problem.
Right, especially if you don't exercise at all.
Yeah. And what kind of problems do people encounter when they start putting on weight?
Diabetes.
Ooh.
Diabetes is huge, and a lot of people don't take it as serious as they should.
Can I say that it's almost become the fashionable thing to have diabetes?
No, you can't say that.
Well, come on. Everybody now, let's just be honest. 25 years ago when my dad first got diabetes and stuff, it was like, my father has diabetes.
Right. Well, okay, we should clarify. Type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
Type 2 diabetes.
Type 2 diabetes.
Right.
But now when you go to the doctor, you come out, it's like, oh, well, I got diabetes. It's like, it's nothing. People take it as like, oh, well, this is just a stage of life. I've hit the age where I get diabetes. But that's not the way bodies work. It's just like, I see this look on your face where you're just like, you're going to make me use the bad words. But it is. It's almost like I said, I think it's almost fashionable that people get sick.
I just think people aren't, they're not educated enough when they're diagnosed. That's
the big thing.
Yeah. They'll go to the doctor and say, oh, well, you have diabetes, so you're on this insulin, you're on this med, nobody really understands how to reverse it. And because surgical weight loss is so popular, why have to learn it?
That's the other thing. The medical field is a kind of a trap in itself.
Well, I mean, but the people, before you even qualify to get the surgery, you go through a bunch of tests. They want to make sure that you can take care of yourself. So it's very strict, and people think that it's an easy out.
So it's not just the doctors being a jerk. So a lot of people say that, oh, my doctor was so mean to me.
Yeah, I met a guy who had gastric bypass. He was really unhappy, but he's one out of the many that have been successful and are living much better lives.
Living the dream.
I mean, they're off most, if not all, their meds.
And that's another thing, too. If you are a type 2 diabetic and you start dropping a lot of weight, that's going to actually improve the quality of your life.
Right. Well, as long as you're not losing it because you've got some other sickness,
Yeah.
So definitely consult a physician.
Yeah, definitely consult a physician. Well, honey, we've got like 2 minutes left in the show. Did you do a good job today? Do you feel proud?
Did I do a good job?
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I'm nervous.
Well, don't ask me if you did a good job, because if I say no, you know what happens when we get home. Only one of us has a home. See, no reaction whatsoever. So you know what I'm saying is absolutely true.
Look, man, I just came here for the food and a ride home.
Well, if you are one of those people that wants to explore what you can do with your food, if anybody wanted to ask you advice, could I open it up and say they can email you or something?
Or email you.
Okay, they can email me if they want to. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Shaggy@akaku.org. I would like to say big thank you to the guests today, my lovely wife, Kamaile.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, yes. And very soon I'm going to pressure you into making this cookbook that we've always been talking about.
Oh, man, because I'm just not busy enough.
Yeah, you're just not busy enough, huh? But if you are interested in learning about how food and you and your body can relate to each other, go ahead, drop me an email, shaggy@akaku.org. And thank you once again, honey, for coming in.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Well, that's going to do it for our Thursday show. Join me tomorrow for the Friday show where we will have Joel Agnew back in. You remember Joel, huh?
Me, yes. I love Joel.
I know. Joel's going to come in here tomorrow. We're going to have our very, very popular, very fun Anything Goes Aloha Friday show crossover. Well, I might actually try to do acting.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll see how impressed I can make you. Well, for everybody else, though, here at KNUQ and Akaku, Channel 55, until tomorrow's show, well, we're going to leave you with a little country music and invite you all back tomorrow.